Welcome to the Dan Plan Podcast, the show that gives women like you a kick in the backside with love and the motivation that you need to build a profitable business that fits your life. I'm Kim Nagel.
I'm Sandy Soderholm, and we are a mother-daughter duo. All are welcome at our table, so grab your favorite beverage, pull up a seat, and let's do the damn thing. Hello, I'm Sandy, and I'm here with Kim to suck all the knowledge out of her head and relay it to the world. No. But kind of. I mean, I am going to sit here and ask you a lot of questions and probably about your 30 plus years of entrepreneurship and all of the knowledge that we can take from you and either apply it to our lives or bestow it on other people. So that's kind of what I'm doing, I guess.
Well, just so everybody knows, I don't know everything, but even when I'm wrong, I'm right. No, no. It's a constant learning journey, this journey of entrepreneurship. And it is one of the things that intrigues me about it is every day, every decade, something has changed. Every year, every month. It is truly the most dynamic career you could ever choose.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can choose one day to wear all the hats in your business, and then next you can be hyper focused on something else.
Yes. Or I mean, just
Ever changing on a daily and sometimes hour to hour.
yeah, you mentioned that 30 years of experience. I don't predate fax machines, but I know fax machines were pretty hot when I started, and we did everything via fax. And now I mean, we can operate a business, you and I, from wherever we are with a handheld computer.
And I don't even know how to use a fax machine.
Yeah.
It's awesome, right? It's ever changing. It's scary sometimes, but really it's how you look at it and approach the obstacles in front of you, the problems that you might have. It is really a mind game when it comes to entrepreneurship and having the right mindset when you're going into things that are fast paced and change on a dime.
Yeah. And the learning curve. I mean, all of a sudden you feel like you're behind, but just a matter of a week has changed and the technology has changed. I mean, the pace we're going at today, it sounds cliche, but it is truly a whirlwind. Every day we are learning 10 times what we knew yesterday.
Mhm.
And it is hard for many to keep up. But as we're going to talk today, you must keep up and you must wade through the challenges of life, of everything life throws at you, plus all of the opportunities in business. You either are in it or you're not.
Yeah. So, from your experience as not only an entrepreneur yourself, but as a business coach, what have you observed to be the biggest challenges that a business owner face these days?
Well, I think the challenges, interestingly enough, are very much the same challenges that we've been facing for all the years I've been in business. You alluded to it, I mentioned it. It's thinking you have to wear all the hats and not being willing to make the investment to get the right talent on your team. To say, oh my gosh, I can't afford that, so I'll have to do that. But, I see people with billable rates of 100, 150, $200 an hour, and they are slogging through something that they could delegate for $25 an hour. I'm going, this is not a good business decision. But regardless of where you are in your business acumen, wherever you are, if you're at the top of your game or you're just starting, we are fed this myth that as a solopreneur, especially as an independent freelancer, independent rep, that you should be able to wear all the hats. You're responsible for everything. Just keep going, girl. You'll get it done. Work all night. This is what entrepreneurs do. And I'd like to call BS on that. It was BS 30 years ago and it's BS now. Because the best thing that you can do for your business is let go of areas that aren't your strength let go of areas that you shouldn't be muddling around in because it's not the best use of your time, and focus. So we kind of went a full circle around this wearing all the hats and focus. How can you focus if you think you have to do everything? You can't.
Yeah.
So in the damn plan, we talk about figuring out what your strengths are, figuring out what your business needs, and then create an actually doable plan for delegating and building a team. And there are so many ways of building a team right now in this business environment that there is no excuse, absolutely no excuse for not doing it.
Yeah. And really it's changing your views on the way entrepreneurship and business ownership, how they should be. You don't have to do everything that society's telling you to do. You can make it up. That's why we got into business. That's why we are in business for ourselves, right? We get to determine what our expectations are and we get to set them. So, and I think also asking the hard questions, one of my favorite hard questions that you ask clients are you the best person for the job? And that one, it like hits you a little hard, right? It's like, oh, am I? And stepping back and asking that question can be a bit of a shock.
Well, let's get a little real here right now. Let's tell the truth about entrepreneurs and people who decide to take this track of being independent, of being their own boss. Many of us have a little bit of an ego.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's just get real. It's not a bad thing. You don't have to say sorry, I have an ego. It's a good thing. It's a good thing because it allows you to walk in areas where you might be scared because you're confident about what you can do. So it's a confident ego. But at the same time, it can keep you stuck in doing all the things and keep you from letting go. I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody, and this is a common activity that I have people do, and I had to do it too. Here's all of the things that are required to operate my business. Here's the day-to-day activities, right down to let's scrub the toilets. This is what has to happen in my business. And then I ask them to go through and check off. These are the things that just, oh my gosh, I just jam out on when I get to do them. I am so stoked when I have a day of nothing but this. For me, it's writing. For me,
Mhm.
it's writing. Being able to spend a day writing is like getting to spend a day in a candy store. Getting a day to talk directly with entrepreneurs and coach them is like going to my favorite chocolate shop. I'm big into candy this morning. So those are two areas that I would say, check, check. I really jam out on them. And then there's all the other things that have to get done in the business. And, like the back stuff, the daily grind of business. I can do it, but I'm not that great at it. And I'm like many of my clients who need to put themselves in their areas of highest strength. So they make these massive to-do lists and then they get to check them off. And it's amazing how many times there are those activities where they go, but I just kind of like to do it, but it's still not where they should be. And one of those happens to be, doing social media or working on a website or some technical tools. If you are a coach, you need to be coaching. You don't need to be building your website.
Mhm.
It's just a decision. It's a determined decision, and you have to face the truth.
Right.
You can't play all day. Well, I wished I could.
Don't we all? Yes, it's a lot of decision making, right?
Yes. Daily, daily. I think they say that on average, and you're a mama of two, and you run a household, you raising kids, you have a business, two businesses, as a matter of fact, one with me and one on your own. And how many decisions do you make every day? I mean,
Can't
it's,
count 'em.
I mean, you can get decision exhaustion.
Yes.
Just having to make, I mean, I can't tell you how many times somebody asks me what I want for dinner, and I'm going, God,
I don't know.
I
You
don't know.
yeah.
So that's why we need to delegate. We do.
Yes, so that's the biggest takeaway. Delegate and Also, I think being open to let go of that control too. That's hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
You and I have experienced that as partners,
Mhm.
having to, I mean, to make the most of both of our talents. I had to let go. I don't know, we haven't talked about what you had to let go, but we really did. And so we're like this microcosm of uh of this whole idea of letting go and playing to your strengths.
Mhm.
I mean, every time I let go and I watch you work your magic, I'm going, well, geez, I should have done that last week. No, but so it's that hard. It is that hard. You
Yeah.
started this out with saying like I'm some wise woman on the mountain, but every day, I like all of you are working through this.
Yeah,
We're
we're all
working
learning
through
together, right?
we're in the trenches. We're fighting the battle in the trenches together. And what I've learned in picking people to be in my circle, to be giving me advice, to coach me, whatever it looks like, is make sure you've got people that are in the trenches with you,
Mhm.
that are feeling it every day. Because the ones that aren't will follow those old rule books of you need to wear all the hats. They'll
Yeah.
be stuck in some rule book they've never had to work.
Yeah. They've never experienced it. They don't really know.
Yeah.
So we were learning so many things. And sometimes the things you learn, you're like, oh, this is great. This is a perfect fit for my business. And then as you go, some of the things that you learn, you're like, maybe this wasn't such a good fit. And maybe I went down a little bit of a bunny trail here. Or maybe I absolutely fell on my face and now I'm picking myself up. So, how obviously we know resilience is so important in entrepreneurship, but can you give an example of a time maybe when you had to be resilient and pick yourself back up and what you did?
Well, two times come to mind. Well, probably, I mean, there's not just two times that I had to be resilient. I think, first of all, let's say, thank you. I've had the challenges in life. Thank you. I am grateful to have had the challenges to learn that I can move through them, to learn the tools to be resilient, because if you've never had any challenges, you don't know how to be resilient. And resilience, like you said, this is like a superpower.
Mhm.
And a lot of people don't know. I'm an English major, so I'm a word geek. And if you look it up, you'll find that resilient means to bounce forward. So go further than you were before the challenge hit. That is true resilience. And I think the times that I'm thinking of in my mind are definitely pictures of that. In the damn plan, I allude to um, having gone through the economic crisis of the 80s, losing everything I had. Uh, Economically, there wasn't a thing I could do about changing the price of oil. It was all outside of my control. In addition to all that, uh, we lost Michelle, my second daughter. And boy, I was sitting on the front porch talking to a friend, and I said, man, if this isn't hell, I can sure see it from here.
Mm.
And we laughed a whole bunch about bouncing off the bottom and they can't get blood out of a turnip. And for those of you who don't know, they can't get more money out of you because you're just down. You're at the bottom. And in that experience, I had two choices. I could roll up in a corner and turn to a bowl of jelly. And I did that for a day or so. I did. I did.
Mhm.
I had to cry. I had to work my way through it that way. So it's not about being weak when you just say, "Phew, I got to back up so I
Mhm.
can see. I got to back up and away from this now so I can plan my next damn step. So
Mhm.
I can look forward and tell the truth and make determined decisions." Now, I'll have to say that way back then, I wasn't as good at telling the truth and making determined decisions, but I learned a big a big lesson in that. And that was people. People. Who you surround yourself with matters. When I was at my lowest, everyone I had built relationships with in my business, they were there. They were there helping me through, giving me my next idea, helping me believe, just simply believe that I could do it. So from that, I learned I need people. I need other people. Sometimes we get this, I am woman, hear me roar, or I am superwoman, and I don't want to let you know that I'm feeling like mush right now. So I'm just going to hold it all to myself. We do all of that. And I can tell you that the best resilience tool you'll ever have is to surround yourself with people who will acknowledge your pain and then kick your backside with love to keep you going forward. Because nothing happens living in the past. Nothing happens sitting in a pile of mush in the corner. All the magic happens when you grab somebody's hand and they help drag you forward, or they just stand in the gap for you until you can do it on your own. So that would be number one. And most of the events that created that moment were outside of my control.
Mhm.
We'd have to have weeks to tell the whole story. And I hope that someday I will be strong enough to tell the entire story. But the other moment of resilience, of learning, was opening a retail store with two other women business owners. Here again, I was thinking I was superwoman. This must be a theme. And I did not tell the truth about time, money, my capacity. I fell in love with an idea and I went headlong forward, investing money, investing time without ever really considering the truth about what it was going to mean to run a retail store. I pretty near gave up my entire family time, my family life, because not only was I running a retail store, but people, this is going to sound crazy. I was working a full-time job. I was back to school taking 17 credits, and there were 3 kids at home. Just call me crazy. But
Yeah.
unless you go and do it, I mean, if you go do it, you'll never do it again. So for me, that resilience came with it actually, that experience is a huge part of the DAM plan and those core 4 elements of determined decisions, which rely on the truth and acting consistently and minding my business, no excuses. All of that was born of that experience because it was detrimental financially, it was detrimental personally, and I
Emotional.
emotionally, I was drained.
Yeah,
Um,
everything. It just took the wind right out of your sails.
Sometimes when I'm speaking from the stage, I tell the story of driving down the highway with the western sun just glaring in my face and literally putting both hands out the window and flipping off everything because I was so done. So when you say emotional toll, I was so done, so cooked, and I needed to reset. So resilience is a little bit about that reset, that stepping back so you can see the truth. And it was in that moment that a friend, here again, people, my good friend Suzanne Cunningham, who I got to write books with, who I got to learn much about coaching from, she called and she said, if you're open, I have an idea. And I says, oh yeah, I'm open. I just quit everything. I got a wide open calendar. So in that moment, I learned 2 things. One, people. And then if you are so busy being busy and have your life closed off and don't tell anybody that you perhaps need help, they don't step in to help you. They don't even know you need help. So same theme, 2 different stories. Got to live them 2 different ways. No regrets, just straight up backside kicking lessons to carry forward. The only thing you regret is things that you haven't learned from. And from that retail experience, I started my consulting practice. And nearly 30 years later, here I am, and here we are. And it is just like growing and just taking all those lessons. We are rocking and rolling.
Yep. Life prepared us for the moments that we're in right now.
Yes, 100%.
You've taught me so much about resilience and how important it is. So hearing those stories, I hope that they can help people who perhaps are finding themselves in a time where they really needed to hear this message and they know that there, even if they don't see the light, there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. They just have to keep in the right mindset, which brings me to the next topic is on mindset and how during those times, how do you maintain that positive mindset and the motivation when you're going through the thick of it? When maybe you aren't seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, how do you personally get yourself in the right mindset and have that motivation to continue forward?
It's an interesting topic and one that I am digging into deeply right now, the mindset of determination. And I talk sometimes about that strong-willed child that no matter how many times you tell them no, I think you have one of those, Sandy. Anytime
I
you
am one.
you are one. As many times as you tell them no, they will persist. They will keep going. They'll try another angle. And it's frustrating as a parent, but just think if we could bottle that, if we could bottle the best part of it, and that is that no excuses attitude. No, I want this. If the world kicks me in the kneecaps and I have to stop for a second and regroup, I'm still going to get out and I'm going to try it again. Honestly, in the exploration of this determination, this being strong-willed, I don't have a perfect answer, but I do know that motivation, that desire to stay on the positive side of things so that I can do good work. Because when you're on the negative side of things, you're using up a lot of energy. I think you said you're burning too many calories being negative, and you don't have enough left to really be creative. So I think about that. If I'm going to spend a lot of time moaning and groaning, I'm not figuring out the solution. And so that's just it's a way of thinking that's in my head. And I think it was instilled by my parents way back when. Not everybody was lucky enough to perhaps have parents that said, how are you going to solve that? Versus having all their problems solved. I I muddled through many, many times, rassifrassing and going, Dad, you could just fix this for me. But in having to fix things myself, that's where I learned that mindset of, okay, there's a problem. We have a problem. Let's move to solution. So that's the mindset that really comes with determination. And then really, how badly do you want this dream you have? From the time I started my first business, from the time I was my own boss and could do, like you said, be creative and make decisions and build this based on our own rules. From that very first experience when I was just a teenager, all the way through the businesses that I've owned, the self-employment opportunities that I've taken, I have loved it. I want it more than anything. I've come to a place, and I came to it a long time ago, that I honestly cannot imagine. I can't even imagine doing life any other way, period. I don't have a big plan B. Yeah, I can float if things go bad. That's just good business planning. But I don't have this thought in my mind that says, well, if this doesn't work, I could always go back and get a day job. No, well, most employers couldn't imagine hiring me either, but it,
You're too
I,
rogue. No.
I'm a little bit too rogue at this point. I'm just like this feral entrepreneur. So I think that's it. It's just, how do you stay motivated? You must, and I invite you to really reflect on how badly you want this, because this journey is work. For starters, it's a lot of work. And it is not a smooth path of, oh, yes, tomorrow I can take 2 days off because I've built up some PTO. No, you might not get to take tomorrow off. You don't know. You plan for it, but you might not know. So it's work. It's work and it's challenge and it's every day saying, man alive, I want this so bad. You know, the tools we're building right now, you know that the damn app that we're rolling out here very soon, I've been working on the damn thing in one form or another since 1997. The
Mhm.
concept of the damn app has been in my heart since 1997. And guess what? I never lost the fire for it. I never lost the vision for it. The time has come now, right now. The time is now that it
Mhm.
really makes sense. It makes more sense than ever to have this tool for our freelancers, our solopreneurs, our entrepreneurs to play with.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited to introduce that. So you're telling me from what you said about how you maintain a positive mindset and motivation is you ask yourself a series of questions to get yourself to that right space in your head.
How bad do I want it? The other question I didn't say specifically, but how bad do I want it? And how will I feel if I don't keep going? If I give up today, how will I personally feel? Will I end up being an old lady in a rocking chair going, oh man, I wished I'd have done that. Geez, I wished I'd have done. I don't want to say that when my time on this earth is done, I want to have put my full effort into everything that burns a fire in my belly. Everything. I want to try it all. I want to do it all. That is that is what drives me. But an important question was asked of me maybe 7 years ago when I was in the early stages of writing the damn plan and really coalescing the ideas around my first book. My coach then asked me, because he knew my story, he knew the content that I was going to put in it and the value of that content to other people. And he asked me a very simple question. It's in the book. It says, Kim, if you don't do this thing, whose life will not be changed because you settled for less than what you're capable of? You gave up. You quit. Talk about a question that hit hard. It hit me really hard. And he forced me to sit there and think of the people whose lives potentially, and this isn't arrogance, this isn't ego, but sometimes it's one word, it's one page, one line on a page that somebody reads that they go, oh my gosh, I got this. Or she gets me and I can go forward, whatever it is. So it's not just about us, this fire. There are people that need the talents we have to offer. There are people whose lives will not be changed because you quit, whatever it is you're quitting. That's what drives me more than anything. I wrote it in my mantra. I will model for my children and grandchildren and those to come a life well lived until the day I die. I realized that in doing the work, no matter if you're at the entry level, you're at the top of your game, you have 30 years of experience or 3 years, you are a model for someone. Don't forget that. Someone's watching you, and let that be your motivator. Let that be that piece that gets you out of the chair, that kicks your backside, that gets you going another day.
Well, with that, we will leave it at that and just say, go out there and change somebody's lives by doing the beautiful work that you do. You got this. Now go out there and do the damn thing. And of course, if you liked what you heard today, please subscribe to our podcast to get the kick in the backside you need to grow a profitable business you want. Have a good damn day.